Hi everyone, my name is Jen Real and I am here with Pam Kivett on behalf of Carolina Poodle Rescue. I am the Vice Director of Carolina Poodle Rescue, and Pam wears many hats for CPR. She is our foster home extraordinaire in Eastern North Carolina, but also does a lot of other work around intake of animals and working with owners that have dogs in needs and helping make decisions around medical care. So we are here today to take you on a journey. You know, every rescue does things differently, but we want to show you how Carolina Poodle Rescue does things. And so today, what Pam and I are here to talk about is intake. How do we take dogs into rescue with Carolina Poodle Rescue? And my sidekick for today is Miss Kitty. She is one of my rescues from Carolina Poodle Rescue and a dog that went through the intake process. So this is going to be pretty casual. Pam and I sat down and tried to think about what questions may be interesting to all of you, and we're just going to go open Q&A style to give you all some responses to some of the most common questions that we get asked or we think you may be interested in. So Pam,
yes,
let's start at the top. So where do the dogs come from that land at Carolina Poodle Rescue?
Well, we get dogs from the shelters. Will get in touch with us when they have a dog that's in need. Owner surrenders, veterinarian offices, the nursing homes, estate planners. We get the whole ramification of all of them.
I think some of the probably lesser knowns are breeders, which we do work with, you know, certainly in different situations, and we work with other rescues as well. So, you know, everything Pam said is very true and very real, and they all are different, but we are a proud partner to lots of different individuals and groups to make sure that we are collectively working on saving lives.
Yeah. So, where and what is it like to work with an owner surrender that's coming into the rescue?
Yeah, so, you know, one of the ways that Pam mentioned that we take dogs into rescue is via owners, and that is individuals that find themselves in all different circumstances of life and have to make really hard decisions to help their dogs find another home. And it's hard. It's hard, and you know, it's emotional. Pam, you certainly have worked with a lot of families before. You know, it's people that are walking a path in life that I personally hope that I never am, but if I ever am, I hope there is a group as compassionate and empathetic as Carolina Poodle Rescue is. So, you know, when you're working with an owner, first and foremost, you're helping them understand that you want to be part of a dog's journey and that you're not there to judge them and you're not there to judge the journey that they're on, but you're really just there to learn as much as you can about the dog so that we can help them find the right forever home. There's frequently a lot of tears and a lot of emotion involved, not just from the family, but from those of us that go and have to pick up the dogs and welcome them into the rescue. So, you know, it's invaluable work, and a lot of times those families become friends and they, you know, ask for updates on the dogs. And I think it's just, you know, being empathetic and being as careful as you can when you're working with families and realizing what hard decisions they're facing and that they're making and that they're trusting us with their companion. So Gertrude has joined us now. So Gertrude is another Carolina Poodle Rescue alumni. She was found as a stray and landed at a shelter, who has, to Pam's point, you know, has been a great shelter to partner to us, and they reached out and said, we have this little dog and we think that you all would be the best place for her to find a home. So it's a perfect tee up, Pam. What is the condition of dogs when they arrive in rescue?
Well, some dogs look wonderful. They're all nice and groomed and pretty. But then the flip side to that is they can be a medical mess that we weren't told about, or they can be just emotionally and mentally drained and stressed. And on the other side of the coin is that they come in looking horrible. They haven't been groomed, they haven't, you know, been vetted, and, you know, we take them in. It doesn't matter to us what shape they're in. It's just we're there to fulfill a need for these dogs.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Gertrude was a prime example. She arrived in rescue as a stray. She was matted down to the bone. She's clearly not. Now she needs a haircut. You know, she had toenails that were growing into her pads, and you know, but under that matted mess was this really beautiful and loving little dog that has clearly stolen both mine and Pam's hearts. We like to say that we share custody of her. So
we have lots that we share custody.
We do. We do.
So, how do you decide which dogs we say yes to come into the rescue?
Yeah. So it's never easy. I'd love to tell you that every shelter, every person, every contact that reaches out and says, I need help, we can say yes to, but we can't. And we'll talk more about why, but you know, it's a process. So one of the really important roles that we have at Carolina Poodle Rescue is that of an intake coordinator. And our intake coordinators work with the shelters. They work with the families to understand all the dynamics of a dog that we're considering. Pam does this all day, every day for us. And once that intake coordinator gathers a lot of information, we talk about it as a team. We come back together as a team and say, is this a dog that we can help? Is it a dog that we have the financial resources to help or that we can fundraise for? Is it a dog that we know just needs us? Is it a dog that needs a safe place? And that means looking at their medical condition or what we know of their medical condition. It means looking at their behavior. And, you know, you're familiar, you know, we definitely take in dogs that have behavioral challenges. And just overall, if we're the right place for that dog to land. We do have to say no. But I think one of the things that we both take great pride in and our other intake coordinators do as well is that when we have to say no, we always try to find other resources for the families. We always try to recommend other rescues that may be a better fit for them or other things that they can consider so that they can save the life that they are trying to save.
We had a prime example, 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. We had somebody that told me that we had a 10-month-old German Shepherd. Mm-hmm. When the picture came in, that was not a German Shepherd. Oh, Lord help us. No. So I had to say no. But at the same point, I put it out to some of the local rescues in eastern North Carolina, and thankfully one of those said yes. Absolutely. The dog got completely vetted, spayed, and now she is in rescue looking for a forever home. And she's in foster care.
Yeah. And that's where the rescue community comes together, right? Yes. So it's not just about this specific dog and yes or no. A no is not necessarily a no for us. It means no for us, but we will help you find a yes. So that's a great example. That is a great example. We've also, had dogs that we took in that had really unknown circumstances. Dogs that, we knew had ear conditions or the families were struggling, with medical challenges for those dogs. And, thankfully for our community, we've been able to say yes to those dogs and we've been able to get them the support and the care that they needed.
We have.
So,
yeah. So, what if the family doesn't tell us about the second pet or the third pet, and here they all come piling up,
yeah,
and it's like, you didn't tell me.
Yep.
So then we're all put on the spot,
to
make that decision.
Absolutely. So one of the things that I'm really proud of is that at Carolina Poodle Rescue we have a no family member left behind policy. And that leads us to some interesting places. One of my favorite stories is last year I went to a shelter in North Carolina. I was called. They said that the family had surrendered 2 poodles, and they reached out to us and said, you all are our go-to partner for this, which is awesome. And when we got there, the shelter director said, by the way, the family also brought this mama cat and her, I think it was 9 2-week-old kittens. What would you recommend? And I was like, well, please don't kill me, Donna. But we have a no pet member left behind policy. And so not only did I leave the shelter with 2 really adorable poodles, I also left with a mama cat and her 9 2-week-old kittens. And, I'm very thankful to my husband, Mike, who when I brought them home said, sure, we can be the nursery, and to Pam, who loaned us a pack and play, and to our vet, who said, we'll help you find a home for each of those kittens when they are old enough, because we know that that's not really what Carolina Poodle Rescue is known for. So it all comes together. It's helping a family in need. Cats are definitely not our core, but they were family members, and we don't leave family members behind. So Pam, what does it mean when we say yes to a dog and we say yes that they are a part of Carolina Poodle Rescue?
That's a lifetime commitment for Carolina Poodle Rescue, no matter how long a time they have with us or how short a time. Just depends on their medical needs, what shape they come into us. It's like I've got one now that just came in a couple weeks ago that the owner had her for 5 months since she was 5 months old. Well, now the dog's 14, and all because the dog was going blind and starting to get dementia. That dog needed a safe place to land, so that dog landed at my house.
Yeah.
And that's just part of what we do. Yeah. We take the good and the bad.
Tell him Pam, about Sarge. I think Pam says a lifetime commitment. That means for life.
Yeah.
So
Sarge is a Yorkie mix. He was adopted from CPR. I don't remember exactly how long ago.
I think a couple of years ago.
But the family reached back out and said, this is just not going to work because I have a baby now.
And he wasn't adjusting well.
Yeah, and he wasn't handling it very well. They took him to the vet. They did what they thought they could do, and what they could do just didn't seem to appease Sarge/Jack. So CPR has a policy that says we will always take our babies back. So the transport was arranged from New York to Pennsylvania, and then from Pennsylvania to me. Jack is at the house as a foster. He's doing great, but he has no kids, no little ones. So we never say no to our own babies.
Commitment for life. So, yeah.
That's what we do.
Absolutely.
So, how do all our volunteers help us support this intake process that we do?
Yeah, so you hear us say all the time, it takes a village, and Pam is a member of a really important community. So when we think about intake, there's a lot of ways that our community helps. First is we have volunteers that serve as intake coordinators, that work with shelters, that work with vets, that work with owners. It's great work, but it's hard work, right? These are people that are willing to say yes, but also say no, and help families find other solutions. So we have an incredible volunteer army that works as intake coordinators. Next up is our supporters. Every dog that comes into our rescue has something that they need. It may just be the gift of time that Pam said. It may mean that they just need a place to decompress. There's nothing medically going on. They are impeccably groomed. They just need to decompress and heal emotionally. But a lot of other ones need things medically. They need to be spayed and neutered. It's been the year of bladder stones for Carolina Poodle Rescue. And our community helps us say yes by sponsoring dogs in. We put out on social media and say, we want to say yes to this dog. Can you help us with a one-time sponsorship? And our community steps up time and time again to allow us to say yes. And then our transport angels. These dogs come to Carolina Poodle Rescue from all over, quite honestly. We just moved 2 little dogs from Cincinnati because we found out they were going to be living outside in the winter, and a volunteer saw the post on social media and said, can you help? And yes is the answer. And we had a tremendous volunteer who drove all the way from Ohio to Pacolet, South Carolina to get those dogs to safety. But most of the time how it happens is it's a team of volunteers. Every person drives an hour to an hour and a half, and every person becomes a part of that dog's journey and getting them safely to rescue and ultimately to a forever home. So it's a really great and neat way that we can get involved. So we hope this has been helpful for you all. This was, again, just a little bit of an insider's look at what it's like at Carolina Poodle Rescue and how dogs like Miss Kitty and Gertrude arrive at our rescue. We're so thankful to everybody that's a part of it. We've been building these programs and these processes for 20 years, and we want to be here for another 20 more. So we hope that you will join us on our YouTube channel and learn more about what happens once they arrive and they have medical needs, and how do we help them find their homes via adoption. And as you can see on Pam and my shirts, what about our Saving Our Seniors program, and how does that work? So stay tuned, join us, become part of our community, give. It takes a village to say yes to these dogs, and there's so many ways that you can give, whether it's your time, your talents, or your money, and we are just appreciative for everyone. So thanks for joining us for our first fireside chat. We will be back for more later.